Hello and welcome. This is Rick Brewer and welcome to video 2 of 4 on becoming a wedding mastermind. The 6 golden nuggets and steps to becoming a wedding mastermind in your genre, in your market. As a review, for those of you who may have forgotten from the last video, the first nugget of the 6 nuggets was a written plan, where everybody has a written plan. Those who are wedding masterminds have a written plan of goals, marketing strategy, and their sales system. Nugget number 2 was the power of 1%, where they put that extra effort in and they use all the available resources to them. If you would like, you're welcome to go back and review that video and then come back and watch this one again as well. Nugget number 3, getting right on to the meat of the matter here. There are steps in the buying process, and the wedding mastermind understands not only that there are steps, but how to properly take these steps. These steps, when taken properly, get the bride to move in the direction you want her to move in respect to what she's willing to do and what you want her to do. In other words, you're not asking her to take too many steps at one time. You won't do it as a consumer, neither will she. They have this fear of heights, if you will, and you're asking her to climb a ladder 4 rungs at a time when you're asking her to take too many steps at one time. Therefore, taking the proper steps in the process helps her to get where you want her to go, and most ultimately where she needs to be going in the first place. In the buying process of the bride, there's typically 5 steps. First step is we want to figure out how many annual brides are there in your area. And out of those annual brides, how many of them are actually prospective brides? Now, what divides the prospective brides between the full, complete number is their priority. In other words, not all brides have the priority for your stuff. They may go without, or they may hire Uncle Joe to do it, or Aunt Sally to do it, whatever. The less the priority, the more it's going to be all about price. Typically, once a bride has priority and she is looking in your category, remember there's about 15 to 20 different categories of things that she hasn't bought before that she's going to buy. The first step that she's going to take is what I call a specific search. That's where she's going to pick up the wedding magazines, go to the wedding websites, go to the bridal shows, ask other vendors, ask her friends, pick up brochures when she's out and about. She's looking for that specific category, and she's trying to narrow it down from the hundreds to maybe 10 that she's going to take to the next step. Now here's the rule. If she likes what she sees, she may take you to the next step. If she doesn't, she's going to stay in the step where she's at. So she's trying to gather up all the potential people who she can look at. The next step in the buying process is the contact stage. Now this is where she will either email or she will phone, say 10 of those people that she finds. And then she's trying to, again, narrow that down, wean it down to more like 3, maybe 4 that she will take on to the next step. The next step that she takes is the appointment stage. That's where she's meeting with you, either on the phone or face-to-face. Now, in the traditional markets, it's a face-to-face meeting. When she can't meet with you face-to-face, though, it's my suggestion that you meet with her on the phone or on Skype, but you have a little bit more in tune, in depth. If you can get face-to-face with her on Skype, that's great. Next step after the appointment is she actually books you and you get the gig, or she buys your product. And then the next step after that is customers for life. The customer for life stage is where she is just so absolutely thrilled with what you do that she wouldn't consider anybody else to help her with her wedding or her friends' weddings and what you do. The key here is getting them to that appointment. That's where they are going to make up their mind. Most brides buy at the appointment. That's when they sign contracts. That's when they pull out their Visa card and they spend money with you. If you just learn nothing else from these webinars, I suggest that what you do is learn to get them to the appointment with your marketing, with your advertising, and with all your efforts. What you're doing is you're taking the girls from the stranger stage to interested or intrigued stage, and then she's going to go on to action and engage. Next, we're going to talk about the buying matrix of the bride. What the buying matrix of the bride looks like. When price and concern is up, it's usually because frequency and purchase is down. In other words, they don't buy what it is that often. And that's when their price rises. If the less often they frequently purchase this product or service, the higher the concern for price goes. Now, the opposite is similar in that the more that they purchase something, the less the concern for price goes. In other words, look at it like something like milk. You buy milk all the time. 9 out of 10 people cannot tell me within 1% what an accurate price of milk is, because of the fact that they buy it all the time. They don't pay attention. They just know that you go to Walmart or you go to this place and they know where the cheapest places are, and that's where they go for it. That being said, they don't buy stuff for weddings that often, and that's where their concern for price is high. They don't know how to buy it, so they're going to ask you the "what's my price" question, and you need to learn how to overcome the "what's my price" question. The point and purpose of things like social media, I want to ask you about this. When it comes to social media, many people get all jazzed up about it because it's free to use and the brides are there. It makes sense that they're going to be beneficial. They're going to benefit from advertising or from working the multimedia approach on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And while you can do that, many times the reasons why people go to social media is simply to be entertained. The picture that you're seeing right now is a picture of a dog. The dog's name is actually Clark Griswold. I love that name, don't you? Clark Griswold actually has a Facebook page with more fans than most of us combined. You'll recognize this dog as the maple flavored bacon dog. If you haven't seen it yet, you got to go see it. It's called the Ultimate Dog Tease, and there have been something like 75 million views of this dog where the owner took a picture of the dog, a video of the dog, and simply did some voiceover work for it. But it was a smash hit. People don't go to YouTube to do business. They don't go to Facebook to do business. They go there for social outlets. Now, you can catch them there and you can warm them up. And there are other attributes to Facebook and social media which I highly endorse. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm telling you, understand what the point and purpose is. Point and purpose should be A, to warm up, and B, to get the relationship going and trusting and give you a little bit of search engine optimization juice, not to close the deal. Too many times we think that, well, we're gonna expect our brides to spend a ton of money with us, but we're not going to spend a ton of money to try to get them, and we go cheap with it. My suggestion is that you be wise with your choices, but find where the choices work, to where you can nail it down and you have a strategy for how to use your social media in conjunction with the rest of your media purchasing. Nugget number 4. I want to talk about the consumer versus the owner mentality. Now, if you have a piece of paper, pull it out. If you don't, pause the video and go get one. Here's what I'm going to ask you to do. I'm going to ask you to write an ad here. You're going to get 3 minutes, and you can time yourself, but once that 3 minutes is done, I want you to click the video back on. I want you to figure out you have just become the owner of a moving company. This moving company is one of the best in town. They've been in business for 25 years, and you gained it by inheriting it from an uncle who you didn't know that you had. Now, write an ad for this moving company because your uncle was on his deathbed for many months, and he did not write the next ad that he needed to. Use a full sheet of paper, and when you're back, unpause the video and come back, and we'll see you in just a few minutes. Okay, you should have gone ahead and written your ad. If you didn't, pause the video and write the ad. I want you to put the bullet points and pictures and everything else on there. Now, typically you're going to have on there the items such as that matter to you, such as they're licensed, insured, they're the best in town, call for rates, in business for 20 years, and yada yada woof woof. I want you to flip over that piece of paper, and I want you to imagine for a minute that some fancy schmancy magazine now wants you to become a part of their editorial staff. And in becoming a part of that editorial staff, you have to move to their location, which is far, far away from where you live, almost on the other side of the country from where you live. And you have to hire a mover now because you're going to take this job. It pays well. They're giving you all kinds of vacation and benefits, and it's just absolutely the perfect job for you. You're going to move now across the country. You need to hire a mover. Take 3 seconds and write down what are the top 3 things that you're going to look for in a mover when you are looking to hire a mover. Go. Now, you've gotten those things written down. Typically, when I do this live, they want somebody who's fast, somebody who they can trust with their stuff, references, some kind of tracking mechanism so they know where their stuff is, reliable, and the price is an issue. Now, if you will, turn that page over and compare the 3 things that you wanted as a consumer to the 3 things that you wrote on the ad as an owner. Typically, I only get 10% or less in a crowd that get 3 for 3. We don't get many people that get that 3 for 3 because we think differently as an owner, and it's just a very simple thing. But by thinking differently as an owner versus a consumer, it almost puts us on opposite ends. We need to start thinking like our brides, and we need to start thinking as they do. We need to be more emotional, and we need to be more connective to our brides and what they're thinking. By just flipping this one thing, that is going to get you close to being a wedding mastermind. The owner versus consumer mentality is huge, especially when you're laying out your advertising and you're putting your stuff out there. You're not going to put your name of your business at the top of the ad because you know that they don't care what the name of your business is. You will put it on the bottom of your ad so that they then know how to connect with you, but they'll want to connect with you because you're putting out statements that matter to them on the stuff that matters to them about their wedding. So you should not speak about yourself. You should speak to her wants, needs, fantasies, and visions. You should be careful not to overwhelm her with too much information, and focus on being an expert and not showing off. All right, next video is going to show you how to consult rather than being that cheesy salesman. Not suggesting that you are, but great video. And then we're also going to talk to you about keeping your foot on the gas. We'll see you over at the next video.